How is everyone doing? I'm sure you can read, but this is my first attempt at Kinnan Bonder Prodigy. The way I took this deck is really nothing special, just the heavy hitters of your choice in Mana Dorks, but I run, I'm a little hot on Mana Dorks, so I run more than I think most people play, just because it's really just the commander plus them equals the deck. I also made sure to like level that out to put it more heavy hitters, and we're sort of missing less counter spells and overall interactions than other decks usually play. But with that being said, we also run anything that's not a creature that makes mana a counter spell, or a big creature or a land. We have small, very efficient 1 mana draw spells, some 0 mana counters, although that's counter, and we have Snakeskin Veil and Veil of Summer. These cards are here just to stop a spot removal sometimes, but I didn't really want them to clog up the deck, so we only play 2. Other than that, very straightforward deck. Very hard to mess up. It's very solitaire, but it's a cool style, and sometimes you can have really fun and interactive games even though the deck is inherently one player. Other than that, there's really not much to get into. Fun combos might include Nyxbloom Ancient. Don't underestimate Toski in this format. Toski can draw you a lot of cards. Indestructible. There's not a lot of exile effects in the format, very little. So he usually sticks around. The best guy, Jin-Gitaxias, is in this deck. As best guy. I tried to be heavy on haste, just so we can make sure to kill our opponent very efficiently. Both Jenny G's in here, Nezahal. Nothing too supremely out of the ordinary. But with that being said, let's get right into it. You know I don't do long outros. Intros. Goodness. What's in our hand is poop. Free mulligan. Our hand's still kind of shit. Our hand is... What the fuck is this? I don't know. I can't afford to keep Snakeskin. Well, I guess actually I can't afford to keep Counterspell. What does this do? It's so dumb. This combo's literally so fucking broken. Suck me off, bro. How about that? How about them apples? Really good card.
The living are just so needy. The dead are loyal.
Okay.
Nothing is more loyal than the dead.
It's decayed. You're such a fucking loser. Jesus Christ. Okay. He won't even attack with a zombie that it doesn't matter. Like, that's crazy. How are you gonna not attack with something where it doesn't matter if it doesn't, where it dies, bro? Like, come on. Play the Cage Sun. I know you're bad. I know you're bad at magic. Play the Cage Sun. Okay, that's very good. I need to start killing him at some point. So he can attack me with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blockers I can take. I can also bounce things. And he chumps it. That's fine. Oh, it has haste. I'll return that. He always could have sacrificed that anyway, so it's not like I lost anything. And then I'll end the turn. Alright. It's good. Good, good, good. Why did it tap like that? Oh, right! I forgot. Turn target. Stankle. Return Stankle to his hand. And then I get my Jin copy. Does the Jin copy create a Hullbreaker Horror Trigger? No! The science was there. I had to do the science. I wondered because if Jin copies it, does it cast it as like a copy? For... Man, dang it. Dang it. Captain Sisei. I don't think I've ever played against this commander. I have faith that I'll draw a land. And if I'm wrong, I can always blame it on that. Alright, drew land. So good. He doesn't... He doesn't play Snowlands in his deck. So that means that's like probably the first Captain Sisei to ever be played. Because if he copied that deck, then it would have Snowlands. So he made that himself. Valiant Scythe. His hand would be so good if one of these was a freaking thing. He goes first. I'm gonna try mulligan for 1 cost. Please draw not. Yes. I messed that up. Oh. That's okay. You're a motherfucker. Yeah, I'm just gonna counter that just because it's an alchemy card. Screw you. That's what you get for playing Key to the Archive. Sugma. Sugma. That is what you get. Oh, and we go first with this hand. Just look at God. Although we're going against this broken card. I never have both. I never once think I'll ever win against this deck, ever. That's how fair and balanced it is. I literally don't ever feel like I can win, no matter what situation I'm in. Like, I still don't feel confident now. Truthfully, I don't. I don't at all feel confident in this spot. Wow. So he gets the 1 mana Emery already. Even though one of his artifacts is a fucking land. Just in case you're wondering, I still don't feel confident in this spot. I still feel like I can lose. Even though this is probably the best opener this deck could possibly have. It's like, whatever, I'm playing against Emery. You just pop off and kill me at any given moment. Yep. I got lucky. How do you beat Emery? Do that. Do literally that. Play like 14 mana. I don't even know what that card does on turn 3. Holy shit, dude. Are you serious? And now I don't... Okay. Well, okay. Sure. Grim Tutor. That's just what I needed. Luris. Do I want... Which Djinn do I want? I think I actually want this one in play, because if he has a removal spell, it'll counter it. That's my theory, of course. That's okay. Why do you hate graveyards so much, man? Your turn. I'm not trying to be a hater. I would have gave up a minute ago, I think, if I was homie. Yeah, I can keep up tested. I could just play Jenga Taxis. Keep open tested talents. Don't want that. That is Death Touch. I'm not falling for that. I guess I'll do the Forest, of course. Now I have Counterspell too, in case it's not. Well, I mean, an instant or sorcery is the only way he gets in, so he has to have one to beat the trigger, and then yeah, I'll just. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like it. Kinnan versus Nicolas. He goes first. We have some protection for Kinnan, and he plays blue. What is withdrawing this when it's not a creature as their commander? Yeah, it's your go. Ooh, I have to counter that. I just want to look in their hand. Wow, this hand is broken. I mean, it has bullshit alchemy cards in it, so I shouldn't really be surprised that it's broken. I fucking hate this card so much. It's literally like every single card in the spellbook is broken as hell, and you can cast it as though they were mana of any color, so it like doesn't really even have a downside whatsoever. So, you know. Just stupid things. Dang, man. Probably plays Shieldred. I don't know, I think he gave up pretty prematurely there. I don't think that was a justified give up. We go first. That's a pretty alright hand. So we go Jaspara, then we'll... I think I actually have to do the elves first. No, it actually didn't matter. Oh, he doesn't. He didn't like that very much. Another Rafine. Rafine is popular today, isn't it? We go first. We've been high rolling first, haven't we? I mean, I guess it's as good as it gets besides the one drop thing. This is hexproof, so he can't infernal grasp it just yet, or something of that nature. You got something for me? He has another chance at it. Or I guess not a chance, but he can kill it anyway. But it keeps him off his commander, I guess. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. You play your commander about to give that fool a bath. Okay. So Tangleflort Hedron is actually pretty good in general, I guess. It's not like the greatest thing since sliced bread, but the fact that it lets us choose is pretty cool, in my opinion. Oh, I'm not going to target that with shit. So, I mean, do your thing, I guess. You have 1 mana. Well, that was about as wonderful as that could have gone. Not gonna block it. Wait, so 2. So now I can Kinnan and hold open my Quench, which is pretty great. Not gonna block it. It's like, it has double strike, bro. Like, that alchemy card wasn't bullshit enough. You had to give it the most broken keyword to, like, ever exist. Oh wait, shit, I had to have quenched. Oh, please don't top deck that land. Thank God, I almost messed up very, very bad. No, I'm good. Your turn. 1, 2. Now I have the Quench and I have Pact. Yay. We did it. So this deck pretty much performs exactly how you think it would at any given moment. You either high roll or you don't. It's just sort of that kind of deck. You can build it in a way to where it consistently high rolls, even though that doesn't make sense. But you'll always draw heavy cards too much, or sometimes, you know, you'll draw nothing. It's just the sort of style of the deck. You don't really have any comeback mechanics, which you could change that with a few cards, but that's just sort of how they designed green in Historic Brawl, I feel. There's not a lot of ways to really claw yourself back. You can definitely win even games. You don't have to be ahead to defeat your opponent efficiently, but you definitely can't be behind, really. It actually performed better against spot removal than I anticipated. I felt like even sometimes when our commander died, it didn't actually hurt us that much. And that's actually a very cool aspect of the deck that I didn't see coming. One thing, this deck is definitely better when your opponent plays it. That's sort of what I learned in playing this, is that it's better when you play against it. And the real G's know exactly what I mean by that. So, long story short, if you like traditional ramping, big creature cheat kind of decks, it's not even ramping, it's kind of like cheat, you know. It's a fun deck. It doesn't really cost too many wild cards if you have, like, well, if you have the cards. It doesn't cost too many wild cards, and a lot of the cards aren't very, like, outlandish in a sense of, like, it has Ulamog, it has Jin-Gitaxises, it has Vorinclex, Titan of Industry. Nyx Bloom Ancient you probably have one copy of. So this deck contains a lot of the dorks are uncommons. You know, it's not a very wild card heavy deck in my opinion. Maybe I just don't see it. Or it has a lot of cards you probably already have. So I think it's definitely worth a shot. You can always change it a little bit. There's no one way to build this, but it's always going to be mana dorks, expensive creatures. So maybe there is only one way to build it. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed. The games we won were amazing. That's all I had to say, is they were so great. But thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.